How do you respond when someone powerful criticizes you in front of everyone? Singapore's founding father, Lee Kuan Yew, publicly humiliated his own chosen successor. Not once, but twice. But here's the twist. Goh Chok Tong didn't fall apart. He bounced back, quietly and with strength. And the way he responded holds a powerful message for anyone who's ever faced public criticism and wondered, how do I stay composed? How do I keep my dignity and my leadership intact? Lee Kuan Yew's 1988 National Day rally was one of his most memorable. He gave this iconic line,
"And even from my sick bed, even if you are going to lower me into the grave and I feel that something is going wrong, I'll get up."
But then, he ended with something no one expected.
My concluding note is a sober one. Yes, we have done well. Yes, there's a team in place to provide continuity. But I want to add a caveat. I don't want to be blamed if anything goes wrong. I've done my best, and I think this is the best in the circumstances. In 1980, after the elections in December, I had a session with 5 of them. Ong Teng Cheong, Goh Chok Tong, Dhanabalan, Tony Tan, Lim Cheon. And I gave them my frank opinion of what I thought of them as leaders. Watching the campaign, how they conducted themselves, how they operated. I rated them as follows. 1, Tony Tan. 2, Goh Chok Tong. 3, Ong Teng Cheong. 4, Lim Cheon. I didn't list Dhanabalan because I do not think Singapore is ready for an Indian Prime Minister. And he's realistic enough to know that. But I wanted them to know my view so that they can decide on their views as they appraise one another. And I gave my reasons. I put Tony Tan number 1 because although Goh Chok Tong has got a faster mind, and he has a fast, quick brain, there's a decisive quality about him. He'd listen, take all points of view, and decide. After listening, you can't keep on listening. After listening, you sit down and you listen to your conscience, your judgment, and you say, right, we will do this. And if it's wrong, I will take the responsibility. I told Goh Chok Tong, look, you're trying to please too many people. Even the pressmen, they badger him. He keeps on obliging with answers. I said, just cut them off.
Goh may have been smiling, but he dropped a bombshell in a later interview. He was perplexed, stunned, and dumbfounded. And many of his colleagues were shocked as well. Here's what Goh did next. He made a decision. If Lee repeated those comments next year, he would walk out. In that moment, Goh made a shift from quietly defining his own path to firmly drawing the line. That, right there, is setting a boundary. Because a boundary isn't about controlling other people. It's about controlling how you respond.
Boundaries are not to control other people's actions towards you. They're to control your own actions based on what others do to you.
Boundaries protect your dignity. They signal to others, I'm open to feedback, but not humiliation. And here's the beautiful part. When you hold that boundary with calmness, not anger, it builds your credibility. Now, here's what Goh didn't do. He didn't lash out. He didn't retaliate. He paused, reflected, stayed composed. That's emotional intelligence in action. Self-awareness, self-regulation. The ability to sit with discomfort and respond, not react. He also talked to someone he trusted, Environment Minister Ahmad Mattar, who said he'd walk out too if it happened again. That conversation mattered, because when you speak your boundary aloud, it becomes real. You're not just thinking it, you're committing to it. And you're telling others, I'm not here to be someone's puppet. I'm here to lead in my own voice. But the challenges didn't stop. A week later, Lee spoke again. This time, at the National University of Singapore. He praised Goh, and then said this. I have suggested to him, perhaps, a bit of psychological adjustment. Maybe a psychiatrist. Something holds him back. He is, before mass audiences, he gets wooden. Ouch. Even decades later, Ahmad Mattar raised his voice when recalling it. Why equate stage fright with mental illness? Yet again, Goh didn't retaliate. He understood something deeper. Lee wasn't trying to destroy him. He was pushing him hard to improve. So Goh leaned into training. He worked intensively with communication coach Sue Greenwood. He owned his weaknesses. He even joked, now people know the real Goh Chok Tong. They'll have the right expectations. And guess what? Greenwood noticed the change. Even Lee noticed the change. Eventually, Lee said, he's no longer inhibited. He can talk about his inability to react naturally with crowds. And in the process, he has come true. Over lunch, Lee finally asked, I'd like to remain as Prime Minister for 2 more years. Are you alright with that? Goh agreed. 2 years later, he became Singapore's second Prime Minister, marking the first transition in 31 years. And in fact, the first transition ever. And it wasn't a triumph built on confrontation. It was a quiet, steady triumph of someone who held his ground with grace. So if you ever face public criticism and wonder how to respond, remember Goh Chok Tong. You don't need to shout to be strong. You don't need to fight to win respect. Instead, stay calm, set your boundaries, speak to trusted people, use criticism as fuel, and grow from it. Because in the long run, restraint reveals strength. Composure earns trust. Goh Chok Tong didn't win by fighting Lee Kuan Yew. He won by being unshakably himself. That is leadership. This video draws from Shing Huei's biography of Goh Chok Tong. If this story resonated with you, I highly recommend the book. Thanks so much for watching.